on.
Okay. Okay, there. I'm on it. Be careful.
I got you.
So here we have the final of these
Oh god, I hate
puzzles.
these.
What is it? Do I put you over here? Yeah. I would like
Ellie,
to remind you
you were
guys
gonna-
that according to the internet, these don't float, these pallets.
They might, kind of.
After 20 years, of rotting and exposed to the weather, they become unstoppably buoyant.
They transform into balsa wood. No. What the fuck? No, that's not what I wanted you to do, game. Thanks.
Awesome. See, Ellie? See how easy it is? You just get in and don't drown. What is so hard about this? What is your problem?
Damn ladder broke off the wall.
Now what?
I'll figure something out.
Alright, what was the thing you had to do here? Oh, that's right. I know.
Figure something out. That's what you had to do there.
Ellie's up there. Joel, can you at least pick an accent and stick with it for more than 5 seconds?
It's to
Yeah,
Troy
that is a
Baker's
serious-
credit that we don't make more fun of that.
He did a great
okay.
job. And,
Okay.
and really,
Okay, yeah.
and really, people
Troy
do have
Baker-
that happen.
Troy Baker is in the weird position of like simultaneously being a really, really, really good voice actor who is simultaneously really, really, really overexposed, and like I don't want to like rag on him
the new
because
Nolan
he's
North.
the. Well, I mean, like that's exactly my point. I don't want to rag on him because he's like the Nolan North of this time period, but at the same time, he is kind of overexposed when he's in The Crew and Batman and Far Cry 4 and this game, and he's in like 7 or 8 games this year, and it does become a little. It stretches credulity, even though he's a really good actor.
If I have to, hey,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
we need to do the thing.
Let me go ahead.
I know it's gonna be
You
really
follow my
hard,
lead.
but we just gotta
Okay,
do it.
right
That's the
behind
way
you.
life is. I'll take care of
But,
this. Stay behind
okay.
me while I take care of this.
But his accent does come and go, but it does. Maybe it's because the writing is so good. Like in another game, you'd be like, "Oh, come on, actor, pick an accent."
Oops.
Here, it just feels like somebody that they kind of lose their accent after a while, but under moments of stress, it kind of resurfaces. Although
Yeah, it's
for
something
Joel,
where-
for Joel, it's almost like the more genuine he is, the stronger his accent is.
Okay, come on, jump.
Yeah, it's
Sure,
the
can I
sort of thing
catch
where
you?
when
I got
everything around
Oh,
it
this
is
is gonna go
plausible
well.
and has verisimilitude, we tend to take something that varies or is not what we'd expect and think about why, rather than, just assuming that it doesn't make sense because it's not well made.
Exactly.
It's the sort of thing
It's
where,
the
like,
trust.
when we look at a Michelangelo painting and like somebody's fingers pointing the wrong way, we're like, what did he mean by that?
Yeah. Where if I did that, they'd be like, "You drew the finger crooked, idiot."
And it would probably be entirely fair.
Did you just roll a critical? You rolled a 1 twice in a row.
Yeah,
And
I
rolled a critical
fumbled.
failure.
Yeah, this is the part where the DM starts going, shit, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Thank you for ruining the story by sucking so bad, player. This is a pretty tense scene if you have a thing about drowning. Spoiler for the next 30 seconds. I hope you don't have a problem with drowning. I hope this isn't one of your fears.
What am I supposed to be doing
I'm
here?
excited.
Look up.
You're supposed to be getting a great big drink.
Oh, there we go.
Josh doesn't know how to look up. I made fun of him. I made it right.
You just hit Joel's head with the window.
I love
Can't look up.
concussion, or as we call it in the wrestling business, fun-cussion.
Oh, this current doesn't seem so bad for. Oh wait, there it is. Ellie, where'd you go?
And
I do
here,
think it's
we're
kind
ta-
of lame that, like, the thing that makes them both susceptible to the Fireflies is this stupid underwater sequence. It
Yeah.
feels a little contrived, is all I'm saying.
A little,
And I
yeah.
think it undercuts what they've been trying to say about Joel. They want to say that he did the wrong thing at the ending, but immediately your first contact with the Fireflies, after you've done this enormous sacrificial trip for them, for their behalf, for their cause, is that they come up and are pointlessly evil assholes to you here at a moment of supreme vulnerability where it's their own savior of, Ellie is supposed to be the thing that they care about, and he's threatening to shoot you rather than let you save her life. And it makes them into Cerberus. They are just pointlessly evil, stupid assholes for no
Biggest
reason.
problem with this
Hands
game's
in the
story
fucking
is
air.
the Fireflies, and the fact that the Fireflies are repeatedly shown to be just complete idiots.
Like,
Pointlessly
what does
evil,
this guy
and-
think?
Wow.
That you're going to attack him with the girl? Oh man, I couldn't let
yeah.
him pick that girl up. Maybe he would shoot us.
Welcome
What
to the
was he afraid
Fireflies.
of?
It's the reaction that
Sorry about
someone in a military
who you were.
organization from
Really? She's
today
alright.
might
I
have.
brought her back.
But this is like 20 years into the apocalypse.
You came all this way.
Oh, hi, Marlene.
How'd you do it?
It was
Is that a
her.
ghost?
She fought like hell to get here.
No, that's not a ghost.
She's for real?
She is for real.
It was
This
She's
is
for real.
interesting.
She made her
Because
way here
Joel-
herself.
Yeah, it's Joel crediting Ellie for the amount of progress that has been
I
made
lost
so
most of my
far.
crew crossing
Which,
the
as a
country.
player, I wonder if there's anyone who
I
felt
pretty
a
much
little
lost
bit like
everything.
pissed at that.
And then
Like,
you
no,
show
that was
up,
me.
and somehow we find you
That was
just in
all
time
me.
to save her.
What the fuck, video game?
I don't know. I mean, Ellie had a big
Maybe
role
it
in
was
it.
meant to be.
Sure.
I don't think he's
just wonder
talking
if there's
about like
anybody
the
who felt
physical
granted.
progress so much as like the
You don't have to worry about her anymore. We'll take care of
emotional
her.
state to continue
Let
on.
me see her, please.
You can't. She's being prepped for surgery.
The hell do you mean surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune.
Like,
Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine.
They'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. What?
But
That,
it grows all over the
what?
brain.
But what? It's fungus. And looking at it from today, like they have to
someone
kill
else.
her in this surgery to
is
get
no
the
one else.
fungus out.
So
It's
you
like,
can show me
hey,
what's
if the fungus is
Stop.
mutated, then a vaccination should
I
just be
get it.
her biting you. Great. Now you've
But
got
whatever it is
this
you think you're going
immune
through right
version
now
of it
is
in your
nothing to what I
bloodstream.
have been through.
Like, does it occur to them
I
to
knew her
try
since she
that?
was born.
No, because they're
I
stupid
promised her
evil
mother I would
assholes.
look after
And this
her.
undercuts the thing where Joel is supposedly
This
doing,
isn't about me. Or even her.
is supposedly saving the girl for all the
There
wrong
is
reasons
no
and dooming the human
choice
race.
here.
But instead, it just looks like he's fighting Cerberus.
Do they have an explanation for how like fungal spores are being transmitted through to the bloodstream?
You keep
also,
telling yourself that.
no,
bullshit.
it's a metaphor.
I
and-
have been
and-
informed that the biological
him
aspects
outta
of this
here.
make no sense whatsoever.
If he tries anything, shoot him.
Okay,
I
mean,
don't
that's
mind.
fine.
Like, I don't mind the fact that this makes no
Christ,
sense
this
any more than
gift.
zombies make any sense. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Like, the real thing is Joel's choice here. What does Joel do? He's been told that this little girl he's been caring for the better part of a year, his last
Said get up.
promise to Tess is going to go be killed in a lab for some bullshit like saving all of humanity. And Joel has to decide whether saving all of humanity is more important than his promise to Tess and his promise to a little girl and his loss of Sarah. And he makes that decision.
I said move.
Unfortunately, I don't feel like the
Give me an
game,
excuse.
like at the last minute, it seems like almost the writers were like, "Oh, we can't make Joel
Yeah,
completely
feels like
evil
they-
here," and
it
they
feels like
they
They
took
chickened
a
out.
step back. Yeah,
They do, but it's not here. Like here, it's still like Sarah.
not
or-
here,
Fuck
no,
you doing?
but
Keep walking. I said keep walking.
At this point,
But like through the game,
still is
they've
the hope.
Where was the operating room?
well through the game they've kind of built these Fireflies up as I've talked about, you know, really bad at everything they do.
The far end.
They suck. They lost the war. They suck.
Terribly
They're killing a girl for no
incompetent.
reason. Their scientists are morons. Their soldiers don't know what they're doing. They're pointlessly cruel and evil.
It's like they want to give players every excuse they can possibly get to find a way to redeem Joel in their minds.
But it makes
Okay,
it makes
that bit
his
there-
his
Wouldn't you
That-
say the
that bit
whole
there
point of
really-
this game, though, is the bond between Joel and Ellie? Wouldn't you say that the
Yeah.
Oh, it
entire
is.
fucking point of
And
the
it's
game
why
is to
Joel
make
does
him
any
care
of this
about
at
her?
all.
Right, exactly. So, like, him choosing her over everyone else, I think, makes sense as far as the story, because the entire story is about her becoming part of his, like, family. Like, they're family now. They really are.
yeah. But I guess they make these guys so stupid and evil. It would be one thing if he was choosing her over the human race. But, you know, you look at these guys and you think, you know what, these idiots were never going to save the human race. He's just choosing to save her from more stupid-ass bandits, really. That's how
Yeah,
this
exactly.
feels. They just feel
Yeah.
like more dumb bandits.
Yeah, but I think that's
Really?
unintentional. I think that's unintentional, and
Yeah.
I think that is to your point of view. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there are people who got the thing that they got out of the game was that these people actually were going to save all of humanity, and they just
I
are
agree with
more.
Mumbles.
Well,
Yeah.
this gets back to the authorial intent thing, where it's like the writers probably intended for us to think that the Fireflies were going to save or had a chance to save the human race, and that's the choice that Joel was making. And it just, I can't accept it. It seems so ridiculous that these guys could possibly be. They just come off as too stupid for me to accept them as good guys.
Yeah, but that totally undercuts
They are at
Joel's
least-
entire like this entire
Exactly.
ending, right? Like,
Yes.
if you believe that the Fireflies never had a chance, then Joel's murder spree here is just killing more raiders, and the game,
Yep.
in a way, sucks. It's just, you know,
It's
hey,
it's only
Joel
as
killed raiders.
significant. It's only as significant as the last chapter where he killed a bunch of cannibals. There is no. If you
Exactly.
believe these guys are just as incompetent and stupid and murderous thugs, then it's exactly the same story being told. So therefore, I think that it's unintentional to have these guys seem incompetent.
Yeah, I think it's unintentional too, but it's like, why did they make the Fireflies so cartoonishly mean? You know, they could have done this a lot of different ways, and they chose to make them just jackasses. And I guess, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a video game. You're going to be shooting dudes, and you are not going to want to shoot people that you think are nice. Like, if they were
But
not
that's
evil,
kind of
you would
the
just put the...
ultimate-
Yeah.
That's kind of like saying you don't have faith in the ultimate point, though. That, you know, you are doing this for Ellie, even though it's, you know, something you don't want to do, even though it's,
Right,
you know,
then-
maybe not the nicest thing to do. If you're not
Then the
making it
storytelling
hard
gambit
to pull the
has
trigger,
been. Yeah, exactly. I think that if they were hard to kill, then it only furthers the point of how important Allie is to the story and to the person playing the game. If you don't actually want to save, that's why I actually think that the ending should have been a choice. They should have set it up where it's like, all right, yeah, okay, kill her, I don't care. Or it could have been, I as a player care so much about Ellie, I'm gonna go save her. I think it would have been better as a choice.
So
Yeah.
this, I believe, is the evidence that people use to
There's also a
say
piece
like,
of paper.
oh, there have been others that we've had and we tried it and it didn't work.
Think of it this way.
As
They-
we've seen in all past cases, I believe is the thing, but I don't think that refers to people who are immune so much as just other people who had the infection that they've examined trying to find a cure.
But still, why not just let Ellie bite you if she's got this exotic form of it, or find
Well,
a
what if
safer
it
way
do-
to...
what if it's a biological reaction on her part as well?
That's something you ought to test without killing the
Yeah.
fucking patient, dummies! Idiots! Why would you? And that they've killed multiple people. What if it's inherited? What if it's genetic and they have been systematically killing every single person that's immune in order to find a cure for themselves?
Well, like
When
I said, I
meanwhile,
don't think there are.
With-
They've seen any other immune people.
Yeah, but no. He says elsewhere. He said like in the other
cases, but I don't think that refers to other immune people so much as other people who just had the virus that they've examined, like not necessarily people who were immune to it.
I see. When I saw that, I thought it meant
that.
Yeah, but still, this
Yeah,
killing.
I was always under the impression that Ellie was special. She was the only one that was immune,
Yeah.
and everyone else that they've ever looked at was just a person with the virus. And Ellie did represent a savior for humanity, and that's what makes Joel's actions so selfish. He is doing
But
this
on the other hand,
because of promises to Tess and promises to Ellie and his loss of Sarah.
On the other hand, they've had her
hand-
6 hours and they're already killing her. How about you run some tests for a while? Think about it. See if there's any other way you can figure this out without killing her the instant you get your hands on her.
Fair enough.
Idiot.
Really, it would seem more prudent to do it that way. I mean,
Even
I guess
if it
you
was
could
a
argue
mouse,
that, like,
even
oh,
if this was
they've-
a lab rat that nobody gave a shit
Yeah.
about, it would not make sense to kill it as soon as you get your hands on it.
Incidentally, did you see me blow through half the level by stealthing it?
That was nice,
in
Josh. I give you
10
golf clap for
seconds?
that.
I stealthed
as
this
somebody who played through
entire
this,
section
this
without
is actually
killing anyone.
pretty- As somebody who played through this level, this is actually pretty impressive so far. I will give Josh
I did have to
kudos,
kill that
and
one
I do
dude by
not
the
do
door,
that
but-
lightly, because it's Josh.
and
This
because
next
kudos
section is a
tastes
pain in the
delicious.
ass, though.
I did not have to kill to find you. I kill for fun. Nobody? MST?
Here you go.
Nobody? Okay.
The hell was that?
You just threw a brick at the middle distance, Josh. You attracted the brick right where you were. That's like
Let's
the
see, I'm not sure I
loudest
can stealth
man.
through this section.
Remember,
This
remember,
was
I showed
harder.
you guys that commenter who
Loudest man in
shared all
Dunwall.
Yeah, all the alternate means of playing Dishonored, and one of them is, you know, you must announce your presence to every opponent. Yeah, my favorite was that, like, that's the only purpose for the pistol now, is to announce that you are there
Shoot it
before
up in the
switching
air.
to your pistol and dueling
So-
everyone.
This is a lot of dudes.
Here, look that way. Oh crap.
So there was a minor moment. America's funniest home stealthing video.
Wow.
Die, please.
Are you fighting an entire baseball team?
Oh shit.
Well, this is
so
the
there's
first
a-
time in the game.
Remember?
This is the first time in the game you're fighting guys with like I don't know, automatic rifles. Like
Yeah, assault weapons.
exactly. Everyone else has like rifles like blam blam blam. I killed a deer kind of rifles, but these guys have military grade assault rifles.
It is a little weird that those never show up in the rest of the game.
There's kind
It's
of a
weird
point of
when you
immediate-
pick them up here and like you can use them against these guys, and then the game ends, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess these aren't for normal dudes.
There's a point I've been meaning to get around to for the past 5 or 6 minutes. It's kind of a minor thing, but I also think it's something you can take a lesson from. Which is actually one thing that I didn't like about how they handled things just then. Which was, in the cutscene where you kill What's-His-Face, you kill him and then you make a comment, and then someone's like, gunshot, let's go get you. And you're like, oh shit. Like, the oh shit
No, that was
actually
the-
felt really weird then. Because, you know, really, Joel should realize exactly what he's getting into. Joel should realize if
Alright,
he's
new
letting
plan.
off a weapon 6 times, people are going to notice that that's happening. Joel should, like, if
Wouldn't
instead of
you-
having that line, it had just transitioned smoothly from him, like, moving around and, like, getting things ready, it would both underscore how
What the
much,
fuck?
you know, he's getting himself in trouble by doing this, and how in control of the situation he is. Or in control of his own abilities, I mean.
Are you ever going to not just throw a brick in front of that guy? That's 3 times in a row you've gotten him to look at you. All this murder you've done so well, and then you fail at throwing bricks. You are so
Captain,
Josh.
what do we do if we hear like a
challenged.
brick land somewhere?
It's a
your
real
affairs in
condition. Oh, here we
Mumbles, you
go.
were saying
Now
something
everybody's
a
out
minute
of this
ago.
area.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, okay, so he knows that he's gonna have to fucking kill every single one of these Firefly guys, right? Why isn't he, like, taking their gear? Like, if I was him, I'd be like, alright, I need a helmet, I need, like, 3 bulletproof vests. Like, it's weird that he's still walking around in his open collar shirt, like, what's up? Hanging out
Fuck
with
you
his hand not
guys!
protected.
It's kind of always the question, isn't it? On the other hand, I guess you could make the argument that it's not doing that much good, self-evidently.
True, true.
Oh yeah, that'll hold them. That'll hold them.
Yep.
That should buy you
Yep.
some time.
What's
That
his
Enough
exit
time to
You'll-
listen
strategy for
to
that?
a recorder. This is Marlene talking about Ellie's daughter, specifically talking to Ellie's daughter.
This
or
seems like
Ellie's
a great
daughter,
time.
Mother. What the
absolute
fuck?
opportune moment to stop and sit down and listen to a recording of indeterminate length and dubious relevance.
Holy crap! We're
It's
gonna
really
finish this
cool
game in
that
this
they make you do
episode.
this.
Anyway, this is showing that Marlene is not a total monster and also feels similarly to Joel, but Marlene is a theoretically good person and thus is willing to sacrifice Ellie for the sake of the human race, sensibly according
Also,
to the narrative of this game.
Also, they have the excuse of, well, Ellie would. At one point, they say, you know, Ellie would be willing to do it, and Joel's like, yeah, she would, but they don't actually ask her, and
I
that is
think
some
they
moral
should have
bullshit
done that.
shenanigans. Yeah, that
I
is
think,
also evil.
I mean, it would have
That is
undermined the end
also
of the
evil.
game where the end of the game, but I think they should have had Ellie say, "I want to do this, Joel," and Joel say, "No."
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
that
that
would have
should have
sold it
happened.
better.
That would have made
That's-
the ending unambiguously the way it seems to be intended to have been presented.
That's one of the legit criticisms of the game, especially because they try to get around that by the earlier this chapter when Ellie says this had to be for something. It can't just be for nothing.
Hey, what's
I had
up?
To, like all the sacrifices I've made to get this far, it had to be for something. That's their attempt to make it like, well, she kind of maybe wants this, but doesn't know that this is what they're going to do to her.
But
I use
you
the
don't get any
flamethrower on these
points.
assholes.
Oh, this
Like,
is really
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it's good, but it's also a little bit stupid that this is happening.
it really. I mean, I would look at this and say that seems reasonable to kill these guys if they're going to go around murder. I thought that they had killed a bunch of immune people looking for a cure. In which case, it seems like an unambiguous moral good to kill these guys before they, exterminate every single immune person.
I just went whole hog on the idea that Joel would do anything to defend Ellie and flamethrower these people to death, all of them in this room, before grabbing Ellie, and it was just
See, that's
sort of
the only
like,
choice you have in this ending is, do I murder the nurses or not?
I'm getting you out of here, girl.
It would be pretty funny if you're like, Ellie, I'm coming in to rescue you, and you just like pour a flamethrower over the entire room.
Yeah.
Which way?
Oh, hi guys.
Still, I can't help but empathize
I wonder
with Joel.
what
like,
happens. Hey, what's up?
Like,
This is a good
Oh,
scene,
okay.
though.
in a sense, he's killing all of humanity, but he's also like doing. Well, Josh fucked up, but
I'm in a chair. I wanted to see what would happen if I actually got close to them. But then I fell under a chair apparently
That was
and
the
got
last
shot.
of us. I think we're
And then
actually at
Ellie
such a
made
point
the
that
ultimate
that is a-
sacrifice to
I
save
think we're actually
humanity.
at such a point where you could call that a legitimate ending.
We're okay.
Yeah. tried to save her and failed. That's kind of funny. Yeah, if they just rolled credits there and you're like, oh, okay, I accept that.
They did a Far Cry 4.
They're like, well, the doctors are dead, so
Stop!
I guess just take her. Yeah,
Joe
fuck it.
Soldier will take care of this.
We're gonna get Reggie to perform the surgery. Is he a doctor? Well, he was a grad student, applied mathematics, so.
Well, we killed the other doctor, so clearly there's nobody left to really perform the operation. So...
We're just gonna root
love
around
this.
there
Can't
and see if
save
we
her.
see anything we recognize.
Even if you get her out of here, then what?
I love that Marlene
How long before
shows
she's
up here.
torn to pieces by a pack of clickers? That is, if she hasn't been raped and murdered first.
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want.
See, I gotta side with
You
Joel
know
here.
it.
That ain't for you to decide, and Marlene's claim of that's what she'd want is bullshit. If you're so sure that she would volunteer for this, then you ask her.
Thing here.
Yeah, like here, let me wake
She
Ellie
won't
up
feel
here.
it.
Hang on. Why don't we sit
I
here
suppose
and
they
see,
could have
see what Ellie wants?
excused it as being the humane way to not even have to make her think
And-
about it.
No, and it doesn't fucking matter if that's what she'd want. She's a minor. Like, she shouldn't have to make decisions like that yet. Is that? I
You
don't know
think
why
that
that's
minors,
funny.
like, we can just experiment on kids? It doesn't matter because they can't say
No,
no.
I'm saying she's a minor. Like, her deciding that she wants to be experimented on doesn't fucking matter because
the hell am
she
I
shouldn't
wearing?
be able to make that
Take it
choice to
easy.
take her own life.
Drugs are
You know
still
what I'm
wearing
saying?
off.
She's too young to be like,
That's
I'll
true.
take my own life for humanity. Like, no, you're a kid. You don't know any better. You can't
Yeah,
sign up
yeah,
for
that
something like
makes
this.
We
Don't
found the
fucking laugh at me
fireflies.
like
Which
that,
is yet
Josh.
another
That's fucked up.
possible way to defend Joel's decision here, which is unfortunate.
Turns out there's a whole lot
Oh,
more
now we're
like
flashing back.
people that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done 'em a damn bit of good, neither. They've actually... They've stopped looking for a cure.
So to be clear, is
Oh,
Joel
the
lying
actors
here?
are.
Yeah.
The voice actors are the best
Taking us
part
home.
of this game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But but these are, I'm not angry about these flaws I have with the ending, even though I think they kind of whiffed a bit. But I'm not angry about this particular whiff. It makes it interesting, and I don't think it breaks the story. It makes you ask. It makes you think harder about the story, not makes you reject it.
Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
I mean, I think it's to the game's credit that you can justify all
Yeah.
of these things about the ending by thinking about, like, oh well, maybe that's just what they thought would be the best thing to do, or by pointing to possible human flaws. I mean,
I love the idea that
says
that Joel
something about
literally
how-
killed the representation of hope in order
Right.
to preserve
Like we're
his
looking.
ideal of what he used to
Yeah.
have. Like,
Wow,
this
Yeah.
I did not
also
have that
literally-
take.
Should be a straight
I
shot.
did not think of. For me, Marlene is the symbol of incompetence in this world, of the government that's trying but can't hold back the chaos. That is so
you
interesting
do
that you
almost
saw her.
wonder
as-
if
I mean, I'm not saying
if
you're
almost
wrong,
it was
Chris.
intended that way, like with all the stuff that allows you to excuse Joel's actions. You almost wonder if it was intended to be that way.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Like-
it gets back to the title, right? Like, what is
Sure, you
us?
would've been-
Like,
Would've been good friends.
is Marlene right in hoping that us is all of humanity, that we could kill Ellie and save humanity and save everybody? Or is us Joel and Ellie and Riley and
No.
Tess and all of the us that mattered to these people, that died of this
Yeah, here's a
horrible
pretty-
disease?
Here's a pretty clear reversal. It's Joel wittering on about, just stuff, quite chipperly, and Ellie providing taciturn responses and just sort of grudgingly being a participant in this conversation.
Yeah.
But I love that we're in control of Ellie now. That's pretty
Yeah,
brilliant.
no, it's
design
perfect.
choice.
I think if the next game, like they've said they want to do or I think they've said that there's some sort of pre-production going on for another Last of Us game.
I
If
don't
we're
know how
not
I
in
feel
control
about
of
that.
Ellie in that game, or it's different characters altogether, then
Yeah, I definitely
I
would
think
not
it would
want
be
to
a
play
big
as Joel
misstep.
again. Yeah, I wouldn't want to play as Joel again. That's
no,
for sure.
yeah. I think Joel's story is effectively over here with this choice.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, equally, I'm not even sure about Ellie. I don't think I would want to play as Ellie again. I think that this kind of wraps up
Hey,
her
wait.
arc in a really satisfying, interesting way, and I, like, even if though there is a lot of place for her to go from here, I don't want to see that happen. I like it being
Exactly.
ambiguous from here.
Back in Boston? Back when I was bitten? I wasn't alone.
Oh, this is the part where she talks about the DLC.
My best friend was there.
And this was
She got
before the
bit too.
DLC came out.
Yes, this was before the DLC came out, which
You didn't know what
obviously
to
it was
do.
planned, and they knew what they were going to do with it.
So... She says...
I think it would have been better if they replaced Chapter 4 with
Let's just wait it out.
that.
You know, we can be all poetic and just
I'd
lose
agree
our
with that.
minds together. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
This obviously takes
Her
on a
name was
completely different
Riley,
meaning.
and
We've
she
actually
was the
seen this
first to
happen.
die.
Yeah.
And then it was Tess.
Yeah.
Especially for Campster and I, who did not play through the game, who did not play through the
I
DLC
don't
first.
understand.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And you... No matter what, you keep finding something to fight for.
Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear
Val,
to
but it's-
me. Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Like that's the first thing he did that's wrong. Like in my view, that's the first thing he did that was wrong. Is lying to her.
She looks just like fucking Ellen Page.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see why
love
this
that.
game was called one of the best games of all time
So amazing.
by so many critics. As far as video games as movies go, this is something I was going to write for the thing I'm going to write for your blog, Seamus, but video
What, the
games
end
as
of your
movies have been
Shogun
around
series?
for a while. No, not as part of the Shogun series, but as part of the Game of the Year stuff. Video games as movies has been around for a while, and up until this game, I've never felt like if you were to take a video game as a movie and just watch it as a movie, it would have been a good movie. This game is the exception to that.
Yeah.
Like, if this were just a movie and all the action scenes were replaced with, like, movie action scenes or cut, I think it would be a fantastic movie. And I think it would have been well received by other movie critics. Whereas, like, video games as movies in the past have been like, oh, this is a mediocre, like, Hollywood blockbuster film, a popcorn
But
film.
that's also why it fails as a game, right? Like, the gameplay is primarily textural. It's primarily like, oh, I'm afraid because they could eat me, or I'm not powerful enough to take on all of the fireflies.
Yeah, and I think that the game does suffer a lot from that sense of gameplay and story segregation, where the story says certain things about the way the world is, and then the gameplay goes and subverts them without even really meaning to. And the gameplay isn't that good, and There's a video I watched
but-
recently where someone compared the gameplay in the game currently to the gameplay that was shown at like E3, where it was like, oh, the enemies will react to like whether you have a gun with bullets in it or not, or and where you are, and like melee enemies will like try to ambush you and run away if you're nearby and you have a good line of sight on them, and none of that is in the game.
Yeah, it was no I am alive.
It's
look,
not
like there are segments like the stupid turret section where we had to get into that house and then snipe all the bad guys that spawned. Like,
Yeah.
there are terrible game-y bits of this game, but then there are moments like pretty much most of Left Behind and a fair amount of the main gameplay that actually really tells this like really beautiful story, and I really struggle to get too angry at the crappy gameplay when there's that much beauty there, when there's that much like attempt at bringing out character and meaning from these characters. Like I can't get angry
exactly.
at it.
Had Nolan North and Robin Atkin Downs and Troy Baker all in the same game.
And
That's
who did,
video
Alex
games. That's
in
all the video
Half-Life 2.
games voice. Yeah.
And
But
just
those
scrolled
three
past and I
guys are
forgot
in
it
like
already.
every game.
Yeah, I can't believe that's Alex, although I can,
She's not an altogether dissimilar character from Alex, though.
but she gets shot.
interesting
I don't think
thing.
Alex ever...
Well,
okay, Alex gets stabbed, but that's not the same.
Alex
Yeah.
gets shot a lot. She just doesn't mind. Ow! Ow!
Yeah, Alex died in Half-Life 2 for me several times, and it was annoying because I'd have to reset the level. G-Man would say, "You failed, haha!" But so few games, so many games do the blockbuster thing and then don't focus on the story at all. You know, if you're gonna do the blockbuster video game as a movie thing, fucking do it. You know, don't do it half-assed, like, you know, actually write it. Bring in a writer.
Right, so many people like see a blockbuster and they're like, oh, a danger happens, and then there's escalating conflict, and then you have a big fight at the end and you win. I can write that. And they don't realize that, yeah, that's the framework to make that good. You need solid characterization, you need themes, you need callbacks, you need things that hook into systems that hook into each other, characters that play off each other, themes of the story that work into dialogue, and people to contrast with what's happening in the story to offer points of view. And if you don't have any of that, then your story is just very, very flat and rote, and you end up with Shadow of Mordor or something.
Ugh. I feel like this game has a lot in common with Metro 2033. As I mentioned before, in that, you know, both games had that sort of big spectacle sort of, you know, they were AAA games. Metro 2033 wasn't a very well... it wasn't a very well-funded AAA game, but it was still like, you know, that sort of genre of shooter. But they both were written, like they had dedicated writers. You know, in Metro 2033's case, they brought in the guy who wrote the novel that they based it off of. In this one, they had, I don't actually know who wrote this one, but they had a
primary.
Yeah, they had, you know, a very clear focus on writing for the sake of making a story that was interesting and meaningful and had pathos and wasn't some kid died.
I think the strongest points for me was that it focused on characters and not just like characters that had personality, but also characters that did things based on their own needs and wants and desires. But then beyond that, it focused on themes. Like Ellie had a certain set of themes around her, and Joel had a certain set of themes around him. And the game as a whole was very set around Joel's themes, and that worked for the game's benefit. It was very much about this desire to protect what was yours, and this desire to, you know...
This regret that you were not able to do it in the past.
Yes, exactly.
And this sort of replacing Sarah with Ellie and trying to do it again kind of thing.
And you could
making
make
good on the
criticism
mistakes that you
maybe,
made
like,
in the past.
you could make the criticism that maybe that plays into the datification of games, and that maybe like that's a weirdly specific sort of problem. Of,
I
of
guess
being a better dad, but beyond that, like that's a petty complaint next to all the games that were about shooting dudes that didn't have that level of actual
Right.
subtext.
They didn't even have subtext for us to criticize. Like, we can criticize whether or not the end of this game paid off. Yeah, that's, I think, the thing, is here, the whole last episode I was arguing, oh, they didn't really pay off on the themes of this game, but I'm not mad about it. But they had themes, and we can talk about them, and we can compare them, and we can, and they were there, and they existed, and it wasn't just beat the bad guy to win all the games.
And they were explicit enough that nobody's saying like, oh no, the game was not about that. It was about shooting dudes instead.
Anyway, anyone who says I don't like this game can eat it, because I really do kind of love it.
This is the best game I've never played. And if I ever get a PlayStation, I'm going to get this and play it, because this was a magnificent story. I don't know if the gameplay's any good, but it's a magnificent, wonderfully beautiful, and probably the best animated, mocapped characters I've ever seen in a game. Ellie was amazing.
Let's all go to bed.
What, together?
Well, that has been The Last of Us.
Yes, all at once. Let's all go together to bed.
I'll give my footy
the spoiler warning cast bedroom.
Well, good season, guys.
Previously on the Something Dad, I'm gonna just talk about the thing with like
Recording
Joel's
started
got a
now?
tight ass.
What?
Oh, perfect.
Wait, do you mean
Perfect
like?
time.
Do you mean like a sexy
we put
tight
that in-
ass, or like
Can we
he's?
put that one little clip of Camster saying that at the end of the fucking season?
No, we can't.
Like after the
because
titles
Josh was
roll,
not-
or it goes
Josh
to
was not
Absolutely
recording it.
can. No,
Josh
I
was not
am.
recording that.
See, do you see this little window over here? This says recording in progress.
Yay! I ruined your day, Camster.
So yeah, that's a good question. Does that mean like tight as in like tight against his pants, or does that mean like a key component of the butt is tight? In which case,
I
how did
feel
you
like
obtain this information?
A butt that is tight, as in a butt that is good. It could also be a butt that is tight, as in like a butt that is literally tight with muscle, or tight against pants, because you would consider big
Joel.
muscular
I wish I had
butts
any
good.
of those butts.
You want Joel's butt so bad.